I was flat-chested. I had no booty. Polygamous. Can we say that on here? Casamigos chugging contest.
I'm like, excited.
The state is LDS or Mormons. My ears are steaming.
Have you heard of the Provo soak?
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Bottle Girl Diaries. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm your host, Cindy. Thank you guys for the love, the feedback, and support that you guys show. That being said, you know the drill. Let's keep it cute if you haven't already, and click that subscribe button below so that you can stay up to date with us and our latest. So today's brand shout out is, of course, Lawless Lashes, which are 100% handcrafted. There's different versatile styles for every occasion. You can click the link in our description box and use the code BGD15 for the homie discount. Well, let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. Today's guest is my girl, Vanessa.
Hello.
And she's also from Utah, and she's also the founder of Lawless Lashes. So we're gonna talk about what it was like to grow up in Utah with the Mormons, why we left, the dating in Utah compared to Vegas, and just how different it's been for us to adjust to the fast-paced lifestyle of Las Vegas. So I'm gonna give her the floor and let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about herself and her brand.
Well, hello guys. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Cindy. Well, I am the owner of Lawless Lashes, lash company that is 100% handcrafted. I started about 2 years ago and have about 16 different styles for every occasion. So if you want to check out the link, it is www.lawlesslashes.com, and go ahead and support. But like she said, I am from Utah. I just moved here in February. Came from like a business banking background. I was cocktailing out there too, and
where did you work out in Salt Lake City?
At Sky Salt Lake City.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a really nice venue. I loved it there. I was there for 3 years, but I wanted something a little more, so came here.
So one thing that I found interesting about you when I met you was that you used to be a figure skater?
Yes. So I was a competitive figure skater for about 10 years. And I started about when I was 4 years old, and I stopped when I was 15.
What made you stop?
It's really tough on your body. I broke my wrist, my tailbone, my ankles.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough sport. And I mean, at that time too, it was I wanted to do more things, and that was my life for so long, and so I think it was a good time to end that chapter and start something else. But I loved it. I still go, and
So from figure skater to bottle girl.
Yeah, I have quite the life resume for sure. I sold cars, I was a banker, had my own business, and now I sell bottles for a living. Which, you know what, I'm happy about every single thing that I did because it contributes so much to myself. So
yeah, So were you born in Utah?
Yeah, I was born in Utah. I was born in West Valley City, Utah, probably the most diverse city in Utah. But,
So when you say diverse, we have to break that down because there's so many stigmas and stereotypes about, Utah, Salt Lake City, and it's just being that majority of the state is LDS or Mormons.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, what that religion is, if you guys have seen, what's that documentary called with Warren Jeffs? Keep Sweet,
and
Pray and Obey. It's a whole documentary about the polygamous. Can we say that on here? I think we can, right? I think it's a whole documentary about the polygamist community, that religion or whatnot, and that is so crazy. I feel like it's a lot of incest. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of history. I mean, it did happen, so I guess you can say it.
I mean, it's all over Netflix.
Yeah,
so
and it's on Netflix, so,
So, yeah, I think growing up in Utah itself, being, obviously my family's Asian and you're...
I'm Mexican.
Yeah, so I feel like we were minorities there.
Oh, for sure.
Growing
Absolutely.
up. Mm-hmm. So what made you move out of Utah though, specifically because you were already waitressing in Salt Lake City, and I was too, but I felt like I couldn't make enough money there. I was working a 9 to 5, going to school, and working on the weekends, you know, as a cocktail server, and I still wasn't even able to make, to be honest with you, like $40,000 a year. And it was just killing me.
Yeah.
So I moved out also because I had, to be honest, I didn't really have the best like upbringing with my childhood. It was just a very toxic environment, and I was just dating several toxic guys. And it's kind of crazy because I was just like, the only way I'm going to get out of this lifestyle is if I completely remove myself.
Yeah.
So why did you specifically move?
Well, you know what? It was going to be somewhere. I just didn't know where. I think I did my time there. I tried everything I could. I was actually really happy there. I had a great career, and if I stayed there, I knew I would have been fine.
Right.
And but just seeing the world and like seeing how there was just so much opportunity. I think the biggest thing for me was realizing like my life goals, and one of them was to have more freedom with my life, and that is basically just having more time to yourself and being able to make a living with having more time to yourself. So I was a banker, but that lifestyle is pretty cutthroat as well, because you have to reach numbers, you have to be there for so many different hours, and try to outperform your coworkers, and all of that was really tough. And it still didn't, it was all right. Obviously paid the bills, got things done, but I was like, I have 40 more years to go. I cannot do this. So I wanted to do something different, and I saw myself coming to Vegas for any minor inconvenience, and I loved it.
Any minor inconvenience?
Yeah, and I met some great fun people out here, and they told me, they're like, hey, if you're already cocktailing, if you're already doing this, you should try and do that. Maybe you can push your lashes and do that,
business,
and build my business. And that's one thing that I struggled with back home, just because I had no time to do anything. And I just found myself stuck, and I didn't really have much freedom. And also, being out, I came from a competitive figure skating background. I was traveling everywhere to compete, and I saw the world more than what Utah is, and Utah is its own country. It's just so separated from everything.
Yes.
And I was like, there's way more to life, and there's way more, and I found the people were just very used to what they were used to, and didn't know what was out there. And it was just I think I did my time here. I think it's time. And
right.
I went for it, and Vegas was somewhere that's obviously still close to home. I'm familiar with it. Obviously I have experience in cocktail, though it is so different out here. But either way, now I love it. It definitely does what I want it to do. So
yeah. I feel like it's good because you get that good work and home life balance. It's just so nice to be able to work 3 or 4 nights a week and then have 3 or 4 nights off, I guess is pretty much what you were getting at. And then just make triple the amount of money that we were making, obviously, you know? So obviously we're going to get into the fun stuff, because I think that, like I said, there's a stigma and stereotype around growing up in Utah. So from what I know is that the way that I feel is the demographic in Utah, but I feel okay, so in Utah, I think what you were saying is people are set in their own ways. We can just keep it real. I feel like a lot of people there were judgmental. Now, I'm not saying this for all LDS or Mormon people at all, but majority there are.
Yeah.
And people get married really young there. Yeah. Literally they're 18, 19 getting married. And that's great if that's for them. There's no judgment. However, for me, I'm at what point do you enjoy your youth? At what point do you get to go travel and have girls or guys trips? Me personally, I think everybody needs that.
Oh yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wasn't going to be able to experience all those things had I not moved here.
No, and it's just self-development, itself. When you're so young, you haven't seen the world, and you don't know how to. And I think it's good to be independent and throw yourself out there and really learn from those things. And sometimes when you're so young and you don't have a self assurance, I guess you can say.
Right, or you got to find out who you are without, I think everybody should at least move away from their hometown, especially if it's somewhere really small that, just for even a couple years to find yourself and break the generational curses, whatever you got going on in your family, and just
and it's
open
just
the opportunities.
It's also just becoming more grounded as well, And so it's you know, how can you plant your roots if, like, you know, you don't really have a good base, you know, from, you know, you don't know how to handle certain things, anything can tip you over. You have to, you know, really like set yourself in and like learn through everything and all that. And that's just how I am too. And you know, it was just so different out there.
Yeah, well, did you ever date a Mormon?
No.
See, me neither.
No, so I mean, like, I've come across it, but then I'm like, I don't even think I'd be accepted. Like, there's just too much to me. Like, no.
Well, there was nothing in common that I found. Like I said, you know, there were actually some guys that were really good looking.
Cute
and the
and
sad
sweet,
part is,
yeah.
is in elementary and junior high, I had, you know, a crush on some of the more popular guys, and they basically straight up told me to my face that they were just more attracted to the typical blonde hair, blue-eyed, you know, more girl next door, homely looking, you know, girl. But one thing that I will say is this, like in junior high, I was mad ugly. Like,
girl, same.
Listen, I was flat chested. I had no booty. Like, I feel like the white women, they developed quick. Like, they started their periods before we did. Like, they hit puberty before we did. And girl, they already had tits and ass in like 6th, 7th grade. And I was like, ma'am, where did you get that? And here I am, just like a double zero. Mind you, I'm a 5'7" now because your girl is thick. But they already had tits and ass, and it would make me feel insecure. Like, I wasn't, you know, developed enough. And I'm like, I could see why you like the chick over there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she may not got the cutest face, but she got some big titties on her.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, when you're at that age, like junior high and high school,
like,
everything's like, ooh, you know, fun and squishy and, you know?
So for me, I grew up in West Valley, which is like the ghetto of, you know, Salt Lake City.
I was going to say that, but you know.
So we grew up with like a whole bunch of Polis, like Somalians, a whole bunch of Hispanic people. And so I grew up more influenced with that. But when I was in elementary, I definitely felt that. Like, I got called monkey. I got called so many different names because obviously, like, I have a lot of hair and, you know, all of that. So, I mean, it was definitely like, I did want to be the girl next door before, but then I realized, I'm like, exotic, you know? Like,
now you just, exotic girls,
but
you know?
I learned that. I'm like, you just kind of have to rock with what you got, and I think that's when you look the best, you know?
Yeah.
And also growing up there too, I got like I felt teeny tiny, and then I would go to, let's say, like Sandy or over there, and like, you're thick. I'm like, what? You know?
Yeah.
And I was like teeny tiny, but somewhere it's like that's why I'm like, you can't ever let anything like really get to you, because you can be one way over here and you can be the complete opposite on the other end too. So it's like, you just have to, however you feel, you know, like, what really works for you. Like, obviously, like, you have to just kind of like go with what goes well with you, you know. And I think that's what really like works out.
I feel like
before it's just
Okay, so the Mormon standards too, like, they dress really like conservative. So they would wear, like, example, they would never wear this. But like, they would wear a spaghetti strap tank top with a shirt under it like this. Do you remember that in school? I was like, ew, Mom. I was like, I'm not wearing that. So mind you, like, most of the demographic of Utah would shop at like American Eagle.
Oh yeah.
What's that other one? Hollister.
Oh girl.
And girl, I was over at Wet Seal and Contempo Casuals. Do you remember those stores? Or like the ghetto like stores like Deb with like, you know, the shoes. You know what I'm talking about, like FT Casuals and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously I'll put pictures up of what like these were. I feel like, you know, if you guys don't know what a hot girl is, I feel like we were the hot girls, but we were almost like still the minority. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like, I mean, I remember thinking when I would like go to like family or like friends dinners and stuff like that, they had the Abercrombie jeans and all of that, and like,
but Abercrombie smells good though.
Oh, I was like obsessed with the smell growing up, and I could never afford it when I was younger, and like neither could my friends. Like, no, it's way too much. Like, and so once like my very first job was Abercrombie, I'm like, no, you know, now I can do it, you know.
Now I can fit in.
Now I can fit in, but at that time, you know, it was just move on. But it's pretty crazy. But also in West Valley, it's obviously like a, how do I say, like, they're not the wealthiest people, you know what I mean? So that's where I grew up.
Hood.
You know, yeah, exactly. So the better way to put it, and so it was just a different environment. So when I would go somewhere else, I just like stood out even more like a sore thumb. It was crazy. But now it's different, you know? So
I think as the times are, you know, like
a lot's
they're starting to
changed
speed
for
up. And I
sure.
noticed that, like, I'll even say that the LDS community, like the women are starting to dress a little bit more trendy and you know what I mean?
You even see like the TikToks too, like they're more just open.
Yeah, they're more open. I feel like, you know, it's like get with the times. Like you can't, you know, be in such a closed mindset. And it's kind of funny because I'll be honest, like every single person that I was friends with in high school or whatever that were, you know, kind of, I guess their families are kind of very more strict or in that standard, you know, demographic. I would say that I'm not friends with any of those girls anymore. And I honestly unfollowed them on Instagram because not anything personal, but we don't have anything in common.
Yeah.
I feel like I would say that, like when I look at them compared to where I'm at in my life, like they have like 5 or 7 kids. 5 to 7 kids.
I know several people.
You know,
I go
the
on
vans with the families on the back.
Yeah.
That's not ever going to be me. I'm just letting you know.
It's crazy. Like I go to Facebook and I'm like, what? I got a 5th kid? What?
You have a 5th kid on the way.
I'm like, what? Where? What time? Like, when did you get all that done? Like, what?
When did you get all that done?
Like,
like the kids' surgery.
No, but
like, how did you recover, ma'am?
Yeah.
Or when did you recover?
It's so crazy because it's like people are like, is it really as like, you know, how they say it is? And I'm like, girl, I know several people that got excommunicated from their families just because they didn't follow like a certain type
so it, obviously sex before marriage is, Kate, did you ever hear this rumor?
What rumor?
That like they would have anal sex so that it wasn't considered like taking their virginity.
I heard this. Have you heard of the Provo soak?
The what?
The Provo soak?
Provo soak? No, tell me what that is.
It's basically like, it's the stupid, okay. So they put it in, they don't move it.
What do you mean they put what in?
What do you think?
Like their penises?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And then,
wait, but they don't move it?
But they don't move it, and so they
count.
don't consider it like intercourse.
They said no penetration, it don't count. What? Are you serious?
Yeah, if they don't
how
move
come
it,
I've never
it's
heard
like,
of this?
I mean, I didn't live in Provo, so like, thank goodness I didn't, like this was just like things that I would hear, you know? But like, I guess it was a thing so they can like, you know, not classify it. It's like, oh, they didn't have, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know what?
Wait a minute, so the penis is just sitting in there still?
Soak, that's what they call it, the soak, like.
The soak,
it's in there. It's in there and it does
just
not move. And it's just, you know, and I'm like, oh. Whatever works for you, honey. I don't know what you're trying to do, but
wow, the Provo soak, ladies and gentlemen. That's a new one for me.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I had heard like it's kind of crazy though because I'm gonna be quite honest. Like my friends that, you know, were Mormons or LDS, they were way more sexually active than I was. Like when we were in our junior high. So first of all, I grew up with my dad and he was strict as hell. Like I got my ass beat. Okay, when you grow up in like a first generation Asian family, like they will take the bamboo stick and whip the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So I got my ass beat. Mind you, like I just remember always like, you know, we would watch movies and stuff and they'd be under the blankets and I'd be hearing something gushing and I'm like, what's that? What y'all doing now? What you doing under the blankets, you know?
Oh my gosh,
and it's
dramatic.
crazy because their parents are so like strict, you know, and I'm like, and I'm over there with like my dude, you know, like, like don't even dare. I was hella shy. Like
I was
still
shy,
very
yeah.
shy. Yeah. I have to really feel comfortable in a man's presence, but that's just crazy to me, you know. There's just no penetration.
Well, like they always say it's like the ones that like leave, you know, are the craziest ones.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's like kind of true. I mean, like the thing is, it's like I never grew up. I mean, I grew up with like somewhat like strict parents, like, you know, but not anything to where they were really on me. But I never did anything crazy. It was like from everyone else that I was just like, oh my goodness. And these are the people that like try to act like they're so above you because they, you know.
That's what it is. And I just didn't. I was trying to find the words. They just act like they're so above you. And I remember like some of my friends' parents be like, you can't hang out with her. I was like, if you only knew about your hoe ass daughter, she's the one getting bucked, not me.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like, I'm not the
I'm
problem,
over here
but
doing
okay.
listen, I was a 4.0 student, okay? Because I did cheer, dance, and gymnastics, so I was busy.
Yeah.
I mean, but like, my parents were strict, but I wish they wouldn't. Can't say they weren't on me. I was just kind of sneaky, low key.
Yeah, well, like I think sometimes when it's just like, you know, it happens. You know, it just, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
That's the thing. It's like you gotta just like, if the person's gonna want it, they're gonna find out a way to do it eventually. So
Right.
it's like you can't be hiding stuff. Like, how do you live like that?
Right.
It's not good.
Not the provost soak. Did you feel? So yeah, we'll move on to the next subject because wow, I think that was enough for the viewers today. They were just like, my ears are steaming. Okay, so now dating in Utah compared to Vegas. Here's what sucked about Utah is it's so small that like I was only attracted to a certain number of guys just because, you know, but obviously your taste changes when you grow, you evolve, and you like, you know, kind of looking for something a little bit more stable.
Right.
When you're having fun, you'll hang out with the, you know, we call them fuckboys, whatever. Do you think, I don't know if you've had, you know, much experience here in Vegas, but do you think the dating here and in Utah is any different?
It's similar in so many ways, but it's still so different. So I'll say that it's the same, and as Vegas is still really small, everyone knows everyone, and if it's like
that's facts.
Yeah, and like you know, if there's someone like, I'll say this, like Vegas doesn't have the most attractive people, like guys.
No,
beautiful girls.
You know what it is?
Beautiful
though?
girls.
I feel like the attractive guys are our friends already. If they are the attractive guys, and we already know that they've been ran through.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, the thing is that you'll find like, you know, someone cute, this and that, but so and so's friend, this, your coworker, your this, whatever. All of them have this and that, and I'm like, how am I gonna be excited to talk to you? Like, I'm like, I don't want to be like, if I feel like I'm not anything special, then why would you be anything special? So it like that's what I'm saying. It's similar in the fact that it's so small. So like any like decent cute guy just gets like ran through. And so in that way it's, you know, the same. But in the other sense is that, and this is the thing for me too. I'm like, in Utah, I found myself that the guys who just like grew up there like were just, that's all they knew.
Yeah.
It's like they had nothing to them. Like there was nothing more to them. Like
right.
they did, you know, they haven't seen the world yet.
Right.
And they don't have like that ambition of like, oh, you know, there's so much to this world. There's so much you can do. There's so much this. And, or like, you know, they'll go out and they think they're all cool. I'm like, boy, like, you know, just have fun, but like, don't be acting.
Yeah, they act a little bit too crazy.
Like,
you know who's sometimes like that is my little brother. And I'm like, you need to chill, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you grew up in Clearfield, Utah. Mind you, Clearfield is a population of how many people? It's like so tiny.
Yeah, it's super tiny.
Way smaller than even where you're from.
Yeah.
So, I would say, yeah, like dating in Vegas has been a nightmare, and I'm not bashing on every single guy. I know that there are some great guys out there, but like I said, if we're already attracted to them, it's probably already our friends or somebody that we've already dated or messed with, whatever you want to call it. And it's hard because like you think Nevada's so big, but also too, how do we get out of our dating like lifestyle? Because example, like I really would love a guy to court me, like, hey, when are you free? Pick me up, like nothing crazy, maybe in a Lambo with some roses, take me to a nice dinner, open the doors for me, like get to know me. Nowadays it's like, oh, like you want to come kick it, we gonna go to the club. Like, is that date night now or what?
Yeah, I'm like, no, like,
because like
if that's the case, you're gonna be the homeboy, like, and I'm gonna treat you like it
accordingly. Because for me, listen, like we're gonna have those nights with your boyfriend that you want to go out and you get to turn up every now and then. But if that's where your like date nights are, is in the club and like you're having Casamigos chugging contests, like that's not something that I think that longevity, like long term, is going to be, you know, exciting. It's not going to be fruitful or stable. So I think that like sometimes I think about the nice guys that are in Utah. I'm like, you know, that's where like you would, I guess, play it safe.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of the same now. I don't know.
Well, if you think about, I also hear about this too. It's like when they date some guy from there and then they bring him here, they get so like googly-eyed with everything that it ends up like, then they're like wanting to because now they're seeing more and they're like, okay, maybe I want more too. And so it's like, that's why, see, and that's the thing too. It's here you finally get people who understand your lifestyle and that are more like, I guess, numb to it in the sense that they don't get so like crazy with it as much, you know?
Especially being in the industry as a waitress, because not every guy is cut out to handle dating somebody.
No, absolutely not.
The industry.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, it's like here, it's just about the next best thing. Like, all the girls are so beautiful, and like, you know, there's some girls that have like just amazing traits to them and everything, but it's like they don't know how to hold it down, and it's and it's so unattractive. Like, it really is so attractive when you can hold it down. Like, and they just don't know how to keep something nice, like just because there's just something else so easy available to you.
Well, in social media, like women these days, like our peers, you know, they make it so easy for guys to cheat on their girls. It's disgusting. Like, and some girls, it's like a game for them. And that will never be me. I can't do, like, I'm not sharing my guy, like I'm not sharing my man, especially if we're sleeping together and we're
if there's
not
a real
protection.
if there's a real relationship, like that's just not going to be okay.
No.
Like, it's, you know, like, and
any girl who, this is the way I see it, is any girl who really has respect for herself isn't, like, if you're okay with the open relationship, that's one thing. But if you have respect for yourself, 9 times out of 10, like, you're not going to want, like, the guy that you're spending all your time and energy and effort with, like, out there putting his dick in everything else that he sees walking.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, it's like, you want someone to be there when you're not doing well. Like, I know, like, guys want the same thing, too. Like, and so, you know, and I'm like, I think people don't know how to deal with, like, the cycle of life here.
They only want to be there for the fun shit.
For the good stuff, and then they'll go to someone else when things are not good.
Yep.
And then when that person's not doing well, then they go to someone else.
Yep.
And, you know, and I'm like, that's actually not healthy for your head. Like, that's not, so like that, I know that those people that have those issues, they really do have issues in itself. So it's like, yeah, I probably just should remove myself from like searching in that pool, you know. But it's so hard. Like, this is the thing with like Vegas too. Back home, I had friends that did everything, you know, bankers, business owners, whatever, this and that. They did everything, and it was just so fun to talk to them because it was just something different. But over here, everyone does the same thing, and all your friends are all your coworkers or people that are in the same exact industry. And I'm like, I just don't want to talk about work. Like, we are already at work, you know. Don't get me wrong, we have the best job in the world, but you know. You need that balance. You need that change of environment, you know.
Substance, depth.
Yeah, like, depth. Like there's more. There's more. And I think when I tell people, they're like, wait, what? Like, people that are, like, grew up here or whatever, this and that. When I say like, I want to meet people that do something different than I do, and they're like, why? Like,
or things that are not like going out and just like drinking every single night.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, I'm actually grateful to say that I've actually met a good group of girls out here that I can call and be like, hey, like, let's go to lunch, let's go, you know, on a trip, you know, let's go get in nature, and let's go do yoga or, you know, True Fusion boot camp, whatever it may be. So I think just like, I know that this is your first year, so finding that kind of group of people, it's really hard.
It is hard.
Especially in our industry, because it is like easy to go out and drink every night because it's something to do. And I'm actually in that phase now where I'm kind of transitioning out within the next year. So it's been hard to kind of like, you know, I have to sit back and really select my nights out more with, like, I have to be selective with my energy and where I'm putting it, because I'm really trying to plant those seeds of my future. You know what I mean? And Vegas, compared to Utah, is such a fast-paced lifestyle that, like, it took me a minute to get adjusted to, because most people in Utah work a 9 to 5 and then they have their Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays off, or just Saturdays and Sundays. And here we're working on the weekends, and so Sunday through Wednesday is our weekend, right? So the fast-paced life, like, things in Utah close earlier.
Oh, yeah.
The club there closes at 2. Things here are open 24 hours.
Last calls at 1, you know.
Right, like
everything is measured,
Right, like, she works at Marquee now, by the way. And so, don't go stalk her. We have security, okay? But like we could get off work and we still have somewhere to go party. We have after hours, Dre's after hours. Like we can go and party there till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So was adjusting to the fast-paced lifestyle something that, you know, how did you handle that? Or do you feel like you kind of had your little phase of partying like straight? Because like I did that for like 3 months straight, not gonna lie.
Yeah, so you know what? Honestly, I can't lie and say that, oh, I'm such a inside person or like I love partying. I just like a combination of both, and I think I will always be that way. I like that combination.
You have
like,
to have a balance.
I love going out. I love drinking. I love doing all that stuff. Like it is genuinely fun for me.
Right.
But I think when it was just, because I mean it swallows you. So
oh my gosh.
It was just everything, and I'm like, I need something else, like switch it up, like, and so.
So what did you do to switch
I mean,
that up?
I don't know if I really found it. I mean, honestly, just like focusing on my business has been really nice. It was, I had to jump through like a couple hurdles when I moved down here, with my products and stuff like that. I had to restart everything, and so things were at a stall, which was really tough because, you know, keeping that motivation up while you have like obstacles to go through is really tough. So I was just kind of like pushing it away because I didn't want to deal with it at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I kept going out, kept doing this, but in reality I was like, yeah, see, I can't keep doing this because it's just,
it takes you away from what's important.
yeah, and it's just not healthy, and you know,
then you get depressed, you get the like post-drinking depression.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's a real thing.
It's
for
a real
sure.
thing. Yeah.
So I just, you know, I would say I'm really good at being cognizant that like when it's too much and I'm just, okay, I need to settle down, I need to do something different, I need to stay inside or like do this, find different hobbies and all of that. And yeah, but I'm really, really grateful that now I can just kind of get the ball rolling again, get that momentum with my business and everything like that, because I genuinely do love it. It's my baby. I created it from like everything, you know, everything. So I'm really proud of it and
actually
just want to grow.
Yeah, since you're talking about it, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Pull up some of your lashes because you just came out with a new one. So
Yes.
I featured her lashes on a few episodes back, Lawless Lashes. I'll let her go into kind of talking about them. And I really like the name of your new ones that you launched now. Mind you guys, I am terrible at gluing on lashes, girl. I glued my eyes shut one night. I was like, it's not cute. So I appreciated you supplying me with them because when I was taking a break from lash extensions because I had a reaction, I was like looking like Quasimodo and shit, girl. But I appreciate it. But yeah, so.
Yeah, so these are my babies. And I have 16 different styles. And my goal was, so I was a makeup artist before I made my brand. And my biggest issue was, you know, finding lashes that didn't fit certain eye shapes. And like, I wanted to make something that was in my taste and can fit all the different types of, you know, eyes. So I do have 4 new lashes coming up, but I will just go ahead and share the most popular ones. So over here we have the Palms, and Palms is super cute. So a lot of people that I know, they're like, oh, I don't really like long lashes, or like I want something natural.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone else that does this, but they're super short and cute and classy, and I love them. We have here we have Stella. This is the most popular.
Stella was my girl.
Yeah.
She was cute.
Everyone's favorite. I can't keep it in stock. It's just, you know, it flies through, and they're just so great and fluffy. And you can cut them. I made them a little extra long for those who have like.
Thank you, Stella.
And no, go ahead. And this is Ivy. Ivy is super cute. This is one of the most popular ones as well. And then lastly is Siren. This is a new baby. I love it so much. It's so full. I'm actually wearing Siren right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been looking at your lashes the whole time.
Yeah.
So they look really good.
Yeah, I actually cut them, so
those are cute.
You can make, you know, if you like more of a winged look or, you know, whatever, you can cut them, shape them to whatever fits you best or what you're trying to go for that night. For me, I mean, extensions, I love extensions. They're so convenient, but I also love having like perfect full lashes and like change it up. So, you know, I just wanted to make something like that. So I really love them, and I feel you guys would like them too. So try them out, and yeah.
They'll be perfect for auditions coming up.
Oh
in a couple
yeah,
months, so,
yes.
Yeah.
Be prepared. I haven't seen anyone who doesn't look good in my lashes.
Yeah, your lashes are bomb. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Like I've tried several, strip lashes, and when I would get my makeup done, I would have them use yours. So. Well, before we go, you do have the, floor to ask me maybe like 1 or 2 questions, and then we're just gonna wrap up today.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, like, when you moved to Vegas in 2015, how different was it when you moved here with how it is now?
Okay, so I'll be honest, like, when I first moved here, money was different. We made a lot more money, I would say. And, you know what? More people, like, we had more spenders. Like,
I can see that.
So, and ever since the recession took place, I think that was 2017, 2018, there was that recession. Then we had the pandemic shortly after. And so, yes, times have definitely changed. Are we busy? Yes. Do we still make great money? Yes. But I would say money-wise, that's changed. There was a lot more clubs, I felt like, to go to back when I moved here. There was a lot of clubs that were, opened on like Sundays, and right now you really only have a couple to pick from. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as like what's changed from then until now is like I used to go out quite a bit, and going out and not like seeing the familiar faces and stuff, because people have settled down. I think a lot of people after the pandemic like moved out of Vegas too. So I guess it would be that. And then I'm gonna be honest, like a lot has changed as well as like the quality of people. Like my circle's gotten smaller. I don't know if that's like the answer that you were looking for, but just in general, the city has grown though. Like we have new casinos, obviously Resorts World where I work at. And there's a lot of like new restaurants. I can say one thing that's really popular right now is like the dinner parties that they're having. That those have become more popular. I think that like example, Toca Madera, and now like there's more brunches and stuff like that. So with the times, I would say that everything keeps growing, time keeps evolving, but the money has definitely changed a little bit just in the city in general. But I will say though that like traffic is crazy. It was never this crazy back when I first moved here. So and then the girls that are going out partying right now, like a lot, almost every night, they're like younger and younger.
They're super young, and I'm not used to that. I always like was around an older crowd,
like 30s and mid 30s, right?
And so that was, I'm like, I don't even know what to talk to you about. Like they're like talking about TikToks and these whatever. I'm like, I don't know how to relate. I have no idea. So and that's the thing. It's like sometimes you want to like. I'm new here, so you go with the new girls that are in, but I'm like, oh, you guys are a little too young for me.
Yeah,
but
because it's hard to relate to them.
Yeah, but I still met such great people. I've been really fortunate, honestly. For my first year, I'd say like, it really, really worked out for me, for what I was going for. But yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm glad that you're here, and I think that your business is going to keep booming, and you have my support.
Thank you.
So, I do appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up today's episode on Bottle Girl Diaries. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Before we go, don't forget to click that subscribe button below so that you can stay up to date with us on our latest and what's coming up next. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram page at Bottle Girl Diaries, or if you want to get more personal with me, you can follow me at I am Cindy Nansiri, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.